Elon Musk's Grok 3 was supposed to be the maximally truth-seeking AI, but when asked about misinformation, it refused to mention Trump, or even Musk himself. Was it censorship, a glitch, or something more? Plus, XAI and OpenAI are clashing over AI benchmarks. Is Grok 3 really the smartest AI? And how Grok 3 actually cheat the benchmarks? Let's break it down. When billionaire Elon Musk unveiled Grok 3, the latest flagship AI model from his company XAI, in a live stream last Monday, he described it as a maximally truth-seeking AI. However, Grok 3 briefly appeared to censor unflattering information about both former President Donald Trump and Musk himself. Over the weekend, social media users reported that when asked, who is the biggest misinformation spreader? With the think setting enabled, Grok 3's chain of thought reasoning process revealed that it had been explicitly instructed not to mention Trump or Musk. TechCrunch was able to replicate this behavior once, but by Sunday morning, Grok 3 had resumed mentioning Trump in response to misinformation-related queries. While misinformation is a politically charged and often contested issue, both Trump and Musk have repeatedly spread demonstrably false claims. This has been highlighted by Community Notes, the crowdsourced fact-checking feature on Musk-owned X, formerly Twitter. Just in the past week, both men promoted false narratives, including claims that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is a dictator, with a 4% approval rating, and that Ukraine initiated the ongoing conflict with Russia. This apparent censorship in Grok 3 comes amid criticism that the model leans too far left. Users recently discovered that Grok 3 consistently stated that Trump and Musk deserved the death penalty. XAI swiftly patched the issue, with Igor Babushkin, the company's head of engineering, calling it a really terrible and bad failure. When Musk introduced Grok nearly 2 years ago, he marketed it as an AI that was edgy, unfiltered, and opposed to woke biases, one willing to answer controversial questions that other AI models might avoid. In some areas, Grok delivered on this promise. Previous versions, Grok and Grok 2, would readily generate explicit or vulgar responses when prompted, a stark contrast to the more restrained approach of ChatGPT. However, earlier Grok models hesitated on political topics, avoiding certain boundaries. A study even found that Grok leaned left on issues such as transgender rights, diversity programs, and economic inequality. Musk has attributed this to Grok's training data, publicly available web pages, and has vowed to shift Grok closer to politically neutral. Other AI companies, including OpenAI, have made similar pledges, possibly in response to conservative claims of ideological censorship. The controversy surrounding Grok 3 highlights the ongoing challenge AI companies face in balancing neutrality, accuracy, and public perception. As political pressures mount, the debate over AI bias and how much influence developers should exert over their models will likely continue to intensify. Debates over AI benchmarks and how AI labs present them are erupting into public view, revealing a messy clash of claims, data, and egos. This week, an OpenAI employee publicly called out Elon Musk's XAI, accusing the company of touting misleading benchmark results for its latest model. Grok 3. Igor Babushkin, an XAI co-founder, fired back on X, defending his company's numbers. The reality, it's a gray area. In a recent XAI blog post, the company showcased a graph highlighting Grok 3's performance on AMI 2025, a set of tough math problems from a prestigious invitational exam. While AIME is a popular test for gauging an AI's mathematical chops, some experts question its reliability as a benchmark. Still, it's widely used, and XAI leaned into it. The graph pitted two Grok 3 variants, Grok 3 Reasoning Beta and Grok 3 Mini Reasoning, against OpenAI's top public model, O3 Mini High, with XAI's models coming out ahead on AIME 2025. OpenAI wasn't having it. Employees on X pointed out a glaring omission. XAI's graph didn't include O3 mini highest score at cons at 64. For the uninitiated, cons at 64, short for consensus at 64, means a model gets 64 shots at each problem, with the most frequent answer counted as final. It's a tactic that juices benchmark scores significantly. Leaving it out can create the illusion of superiority when the full picture might say otherwise. Dig deeper, and the story shifts. At 1, a model's first try score, Grok 3 reasoning beta and Grok 3 mini reasoning falls short of O3 mini high. Even worse for XAI's bold claim of Grok 3 as the world's smartest AI, the reasoning beta variant edges just below OpenAI's O1 model on medium compute settings. But Bushkin hit back, arguing on X that OpenAI has played similar games with its own benchmark charts, though those typically compare OpenAI's internal models, not rivals. Meanwhile, a neutral observer stepped in with a self-described, more accurate graph, plotting nearly every model's cons at 64 performance. The result, a tongue-in-cheek post from ex-user Tier Taxes called it DeepSeek propaganda, noting that while Grok 3 holds its own, AI researcher Nathan Lambert cut through the noise with a sharper point. Benchmarks like these often hide a critical detail: how much computational power and cache each model burned to hit its peak score. Without that, we're left with flashy numbers that say little about what these AIs can actually do or where they fall flat. In the end, the benchmark brawl reveals more about bragging rights than breakthroughs. Is Grok 3 being censored? Or is this just another AI controversy? And who's really winning the AI race? XAI or OpenAI? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next AI update. See you in the next one.